BedWars is a strategic masterpiece that ushered in a whole new era to gaming as a whole. Don't believe me? Well, as you'll see throughout the video, its brilliance cannot be underrated, as the variables and functions that make up BedWars lead not only to some of the most fun and exciting gameplay out there, but a game that tests our strategic and tactical IQ and makes us pay for not thinking our every move through carefully and concisely. Now, to understand BedWars and the inner workings of it, we first have to recognize what the basics of the game come down to. And in short, BedWars is a competitive minigame where your goal is to destroy the other player's bed while protecting yours. And yes, I know it's way more complex than that, but we will get there eventually. Now that we've identified the most important parts of the game, we'll start by analyzing it, as I believe this is where most people fail. Like I just said, it's bed defense and offense. Well, a vast majority of people only focus on the offensive side of the game, which is a core principle of BedWars, but not the only one, and leads you to neglect defense, which in most cases leads to the destruction of your bed. It's not just any game where you try to rack up the most kills, and yes, kills are important, but not nearly as important as defending your bed and destroying other beds. As we can see here, there is already a huge separation in strategy for most first-person shooters, and I think that's why many players' PvP success doesn't necessarily transfer over to BedWars' success, because even while offensively gifted, they lack defensive capabilities. BedWars is unique as well in that finding the balance between offensive and defensive is a huge part of the game and varies from match to match, with that being because of the diamond and emerald spawners. Now, even without the middle of the map, BedWars is still a good strategy game, but I believe this part of it makes it a masterpiece, as it forces you into an offensive role even if you want to play a defensive role for the entirety of the match. You can't just camp and build up tough defenses, as other players will get such a huge advantage over you from all the diamonds and emeralds that you won't be able to compete. But the flip side to that is if you're always in the middle trying to collect ores to upgrade yourself, you're always leaving your bed exposed for other players to go and break. You see the dynamics the middle puts into the game? You can never truly be neutral, and it always forces you to be doing something all the time. Otherwise, you become a sitting duck. The diamond and emerald spawners not only just bring in another obstacle into the game, but also provide many ways for the player to go about their battle plan and leaves room for many tactics. For example, you could save up for the best pick in the game, but if your opponent counters with obsidian coating and a miner's fatigue trap, then they would have successfully countered your attack. And there's so many combinations in the game where tactical offense beats defense, or tactical defense counters and beats offense. With how many upgrades and items are in the game, it leaves much up to creativity on how to approach your bed in the most successful manner, depending on the circumstance you find yourself in. Skill in BedWars is certainly still a requirement. It makes a huge difference, but what does it matter if you don't take advantage of the strategic part of the game? Because I see it all the time, where these really skillful players will just rush the next base over to them, break the bed, and get the final kill, just to continue to move on with the same plan while their bed is being broken because they have no defenses. Yes, they might get 2 or 3 beds and 10 kills, but they usually don't end up winning, as the other players are getting better and better equipment and are putting up good defenses that can't easily be broken. If this was a normal first-person shooter, then yeah, that player would easily be winning all the time, but that just goes to show how important strategy is in BedWars. To conclude this video, with its focus of offense and defense, its use of diamond and emerald spawners, and the vast array of tactics possible, BedWars really has ushered in a new age of strategy into video games. I think it'll be a blueprint to not only other Minecraft minigames, but video games in general going on into the future, as I feel people are sick and tired of playing games that require no critical thinking and problem solving, and want to start using tactics, battle planning, and strategy to not just outskill their opponents, but more importantly, to outsmart their opponents. And that's the real reason why BedWars is a strategic masterpiece.